Another way of saying that is if you're scared, if you're terrified, you can go. Why? Because I don't want you to affect the dude in front, the dude to the left, the dude to the right, and the dude behind. Hope everybody's doing well. I wanted to share with you an encouragement today just about courage, ironically. I'm going to encourage you about courage, right? About confidence and where that confidence should come from. You know, science always chases God. It's never the other way around. Everything that we know to be true, every example that we can ever need in our lives is already been laid out. It's already been laid out, man. And there's this awesome story that a lot of people don't talk about, a lot of people don't know about, and I'm going to share it with you today. And it's about a mandate that God gave these soldiers, right? These soldiers and how their mentality needs to be when they go into battle, when they go into warfare. And this is going to help us as athletes, as high-level performers as well. Now, if you go to Deuteronomy chapter 20, right? Deuteronomy chapter 20, it lays out how we're supposed to be mentally. And, you know, in psychology, we have this thing called motor neurons, right? And what are mirror neurons, rather? They're called mirror neurons. What are mirror neurons? Basically, when we see something in somebody else, a specific behavior in someone else, these mirror neurons are modulated in our own body. And it sends sensations and electrical impulses into our body, and we seemingly feel what other people feel. I'll give you an example. You know, those of you who, you know, play football or, you know, any of the field sports, even any sport, really, we've all seen someone sprain their ankle. We've all seen somebody blow out a knee and they show it on ESPN real quick. And what do we all do collectively together? Ooh, right? Mirror neurons. The same thing happens when, you know, some of you, when you watch a sad movie or you see somebody around you or people around you who are crying, it's very easy to cry. Mirror neurons. Same thing when somebody tells a joke, right? And so in psychology, we call it mirror neurons, but let's see what God tells us about what the Bible says regarding confidence and courage and where this stuff needs to come from and how important this concept is, rather. So in Deuteronomy chapter 20, it says this. It says that when you go out to battle against your enemies and you see horses and chariots and people more numerous than you, do not be afraid of them, for the Lord your God is with you, who brought you up from the land of Egypt. So it shall be when you are on the verge of battle that the priest shall approach and speak to the people, and he shall say to them, Hear, O Israel. Today you are on the verge of battle with your enemies. Do not let your heart be faint. Do not be afraid. And do not tremble or be terrified because of them, because of these enemies that we're about to, you know, engage with, right? And verse 4 says, For the Lord your God is he who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you. So here's where it gets deep. So there's this mandate, do not be afraid, don't be terrified, for the Lord your God is with you who goes before you to fight for you to save you, right? All good. But check this out. Verse 5 says, Then the officers shall speak to the people saying, What man? So these are the officers now talking to the people. God's telling me, hey, tell the people this, right? These are the generals, the commanders, right? It says, What man is there who has built a new house and has not dedicated it? Let him go home, let him go and return to his house, lest he die in battle, and another man dedicate it. Also, what man is there who has not planted a vineyard and has not eaten of it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in battle, and another man eat of it. Verse 7, And what man is there who is betrothed to a woman who's basically engaged, right, to be married, and has not married her yet? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man marry her. Right? So all these outs are being given. If you haven't dedicated your house, if you haven't eaten of your vineyard, if you're engaged to be married, and you haven't done any of that yet, you can go home. Why? Check this out. The officers shall speak further to the people and say, What man is there who is fearful and faint-hearted? How many of y'all are scared? Let him go and return to his house, lest the heart of his brethren be faint, like his heart. Another way of saying that is, if you're scared, if you're terrified, you can go. Why? Because I don't want you to affect the dude in front, the dude to the left, the dude to the right, and the dude behind. cannot be. You cannot affect with the morale of the situation with your fear. And you might say, well, Joe, man, fear is natural, right? It's a part of the human experience. It's a part of me being an athlete. Absolutely. So I'm going through a tough time right now. I am fearful. I'm going to be in a bigger role on my team this year. I have a bigger, role in my company, and I'm afraid. I don't know what to do. Yeah. God already gave you the answer, and it's in verse 4. For the Lord your God is he who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies and to save you. Our faith, our confidence, our courage is in the wrong things. We put it in ourselves. God is the one who gives us the gifts, the talents, the abilities, and the ability to be courageous in the midst of fear. Mirror neurons. Psychology, science is always trying to catch up to God. It's never the other way around. Did you know that research shows us that the confidence that you have in yourself directly impacts the confidence that not only your teammates have in you, but that your coaches have in you? And if your confidence is in yourself and yourself alone, you are going to be faint-hearted. Because there's always somebody bigger, there's always somebody faster, always somebody stronger, always somebody more seasoned and better than you. But if your confidence comes from God, the one who gave you the talent, and it's in something that is unshakable, everybody has to get out of the way. Hey, be encouraged today. Plug into God, plug into his word, and watch what happens.